last Archivist of Oros. The console before him hissed as he swiped a trembling hand across its surface. Silas was trying to bypass the corruption in Sector 7, a region of data that had begun to dissolve into digital static. If he couldn't bridge the connection, the music of the Vara people would be lost forever. He didn't work for glory. He worked because silence was a weight he could no longer bear to carry alone. From the shadows of the ceiling, Index descended on silent thrusters. The repair drone was a patchwork of salvaged plating and exposed wiring, its single optical sensor pulsing with a soft, amber light. It hovered near Silas, its mechanical limbs twitching in a way that mimicked curiosity. It was a machine built for maintenance, yet it seemed to linger whenever Silas spoke to the empty air. Together, they moved through the spine, the long, curved corridor that connected the archives to the observation deck. Silas walked with a heavy cane, his movements slow and deliberate, while Index drifted alongside him, occasionally bumping gently against his shoulder. They were a parade of two, marching through a ghost ship that sailed toward the edge of an expiring nebula. A spark erupted from Index's chassis, and the drone drifted sideways, its amber light flickering violently. Silas immediately dropped to his knees, ignoring the ache in his joints. He pulled a multi-tool from his belt, his fingers finding the familiar grooves of the drone's internal circuitry. "Not yet," Silas whispered, his voice cracking. "The catalog isn't finished. I need you to remember." They reached the observation deck just as the star Oros began its final contraction. The light was a bruised purple, casting long, distorted shadows across the deck. Silas sat on a cold metal bench watching the cosmic collapse. He wondered if anyone on the distant, younger worlds would ever look up and see the flash, or if they would simply go on living, unaware that a library had just lost its light. Index suddenly projected a holographic file that Silas had never seen. It was labeled Origin. The data was clean, uncorrupted by the centuries. It showed a map of a small blue planet in a system far from the reach of the Oros radiation. The drone's optical sensor turned toward Silas, as if presenting a gift or a final instruction. It was the location of a seed ship, launched before the silence began. Silas leaned forward, his eyes widening as he traced the golden lines of the star map. The coordinates were etched into his mind instantly. He realized that his work wasn't just about preserving the past, it was about providing a map for whoever remained. He felt a sudden, sharp clarity. The archives were not a tomb, but a message in a bottle. Silas reached into his vest and pulled out the master crystal, the sum of all the knowledge he had salvaged. He pressed it into Index's primary manipulator arm. "Go to the hangar," Silas commanded, his voice firm for the first time in years. "The small probe still has fuel. You carry the weight now. You are the archive." Silas watched from the bench as a small streak of light broke away from the station, punching through the purple haze of the nebula. Index was gone, carrying the songs and the science of a dead era toward a new horizon. Silas leaned back and closed his eyes, the silence of the station finally feeling like peace rather than a burden. The story was no longer his to tell.